Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Big Finish fans. In today's Big Finish fans, we are tier listing all of the Ninth Doctor box sets so far. We're halfway through Series 3 of Christopher Eccleston on Big Finish. As ever, I'm
Mm.
joined with Luke.
Yes, hello everyone. We're back again, twice in one
Mm,
week. Aren't you
I
all
know.
lucky?
I know. We're making it for last week where we didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Um,
we're
but
catching
yeah,
up.
we're back. We're
We're
back.
still,
We're back.
still aiming for 52 streams this year. Set ourselves that target. We'll see if we meet it or not.
We'll
But
see. We'll
yeah,
see.
2 in 1 week, two birds, one stone. Won't hurt along the way. And
Yeah.
yeah, like you say, 10 box sets of the
Yeah.
Ninth Doctor now. Which, I mean, it's been over 3 years since Christopher Eccleston was first announced to be coming to Big Finish on
hmm
the 9th of August 2020. Over 2 years since the first box set Ravagers dropped.
hmm
And it's been like clockwork since then. Until now, we finally got a bit of a breather as we skip a set in November, wait for the
Which is
next
a
one.
But we've got sort of a mini beat in Once and Future, so we're still getting echoes a little bit.
Yeah, we're not entirely missing out there. But nevertheless, I think it's nice to have a break now and for us to have a look back together at these past 10 box sets as box sets because we have tier listed these before, but we've done it based on the individual episodes throughout these sets, which have, I think it's fair to say, varied in quality a bit
hmm
within sets as well. And sometimes that's not always useful for people who want to know what to pick up. Like it's especially if you're much more picky, if you're not getting every set like us, if you just want to pick up one or two Ninth Doctor box sets to get your
Yeah.
fix of Eccleston, you don't necessarily want to go for one because this one story's the best, but the rest of the set's shit.
I
You
mean,
know,
I think with the Eccleston box sets, there is a clear two good stories, then there's kind of a dud. Um,
yeah, often the case, sadly. So I think it's hopefully useful for people who are, also especially with this cost of these sets as well. Like
hmm
Big Finish is expensive. Ninth Doctor is one of the even more expensive ones on the catalogue compared to what you get. It is just free stories for 30 quid pre-order if you're getting the CDs.
But you
And
do get
so
cover art, which
yeah, you
I
get
guess
it
makes it a
balances
bit
out.
easier.
Yeah, you get a bonus behind the scenes disc as well. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that it's useful for us to put this out as a whole box set thing and say
Yeah.
whether or not it's worth getting so that you get the most bang for your buck if you do fancy picking any of these up if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Uh, and again, but it is based on our opinions as well. There are two of us giving our
Yeah.
opinions, so you get a bit more of a varied view there. But nevertheless, what works for us might not necessarily work for you, and vice versa. So, yeah,
But I feel
take
like
it.
we've got a good handle on what's good and what's not. I feel
I
like
hope
we've
so.
got good
I mean,
judgment, I'd say.
I suppose everyone thinks that though. Really.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
always
yeah.
going to have your own biases and such. You're always in your own bubble looking out.
But I like to think that we've been fans for 10 years. I like to think we're kind of scholars now, and we've got archives of knowledge, and we're here
Yeah.
to share the love of it,
Mm,
really.
yeah. We know where Big Finish has excelled and where sometimes it's fallen short. I mean, it has mostly excelled. We wouldn't be
Yeah.
buying
Uh,
every all the stuff that we have if we didn't love it.
I mean, it's where my wages all go, so it's all good. It's all good. You
Mm.
know?
Yeah, I mean, payday recently, so it's onto the Big Finish website.
Yeah, literally, it's like paying a bill at this point.
Yeah.
And we love it. We love it because we get to talk about it here, share our thoughts, and have a nice sense of community.
Mm.
Um, you know,
I mean, speaking of community, let's say hi to everyone in the chat. Hello,
yeah,
Jake
let's do
Clark.
that. Hello,
Uh,
hello.
thank you for joining us.
Thank
New commenter, I believe.
Maybe a
I mean,
lurker. If it's a
maybe a
lurker
lurker.
coming through, we
Yeah,
appreciate you. Appreciate it.
yeah.
We
Or
appreciate
maybe
lurks as well.
hmm. Or maybe this is your first time watching us. If so,
Mm,
welcome. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Doctor Who TV, hello. Thank you for joining
hello,
us.
hello.
Daniel Hager, the Irishman.
Ooh.
No longer a fan of anything.
Not a fan of Fifth Doctor,
A man
Seventh
of our
Doctor,
word.
Sherlock.
No. I've been listening to the Third Doctor Big Finish box set, Volume 7 again, and it's still my favourite. Mine too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Doctor Who TV says CITV has closed down 48 hours ago. It has.
That's sad.
Yeah.
It is sad.
I feel like children's TVs is one of the things that is falling through the cracks at the moment, isn't it? I think with the rise of streaming and stuff in particular, I feel like there's not really, especially now, there's not really a place for a children's spin-off like Sarah Jane Adventures, for example, for Doctor Who and other shows like that on that budget. There just doesn't seem to be much room for them in the TV landscape, which is sad.
Yeah.
Annihilators is iconic, Daniel. Annihilators is brilliant.
Best release of last year. I still stand by it, and best season 6B audio.
It's looking good for all the Liz ones, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
For Doctor Adventures, River Song.
Intelligence of War better not let us down.
No, we're counting on that. We're 3 strong at the moment because you've also got Time Lord.
That's true, yeah.
That's another banger. In my Big Finish withdrawal era, says Hoover and Small Collection. Yes, you've finished.
You finished.
You've caught up now.
You've beaten us.
Yeah, we've still got quite a few to catch up on. I mean, have you done much listening over the past couple of days?
Listening, I finished this box set, Travelling Hope. So I crammed all that in pretty much yesterday.
Was it 2 stories or?
2 stories. I did the first one a while ago.
Yeah, I think that was when I was like in the hype era of it. Not long after it came out, I was like, you know what? Below there, really good. Get listening.
But I listened to Omega because a little throwback because I possibly do something in celebration of season 20, so I might do a couple of Big Finish reviews. Might even review the Ultimate Adventure to celebrate the B&M stuff. Who knows? But yeah, that's I've got to listen to River Song as well for next Sunday.
Yeah, we're doing that next Sunday. I haven't started that yet, to be fair.
I thought you had when you sent the cover. I was like, oh, he started listening to it.
Oh, no, I bought it and got it all downloaded, so it's all ready.
Okay.
I picked up that Torchwood Among Us Free and Torchwood Sigil as well. So a bit more of Murray Melvin as the list manager.
Nice.
But I did actually start listening to Sixth Doctor Adventures Purity Unbound. I had to double check which one it
is. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm halfway through that now. Halfway through the second story.
I'm tempted just to start all over, just so I can just do it, just see if so I get the arc instead of like stop starting.
Yeah, I think similar to Stranded, it probably benefits in that way, I imagine. Daniel Hager said, I hope this stream doesn't get cancelled, guys. No, we're here.
No, it's not. We're here. We're live, as far as I know.
Yeah, it was me delaying things. Sorry, everyone. Luke really said the party don't start till I walk in, said Hoovian. Exactly.
It's me running late. But no, I'm on time this week.
Damn, so Chris has been in 43 Ninth Doctor stories. Yeah, he has. I mean, I'm not 100% certain, but I imagine that's right.
Yeah.
Or is... 43. That's right. 10 box sets are free and 13 TV episodes.
Yeah,
shall we take a look at the cover art for the 44th?
We can.
Here it is.
Because this is an Eccleston special, as you can see.
Yeah, it's all Ninth Doctor and a bit of Unbound Doctor as well. Because we've got this crossover that we've been looking forward to for a long while now.
I'd say like February this year or last year. Would you say it was revealed that Chris did this?
Yeah, he mentioned David Warner at a convention, didn't he? And what a pleasure it was to work with him. I believe the quote is something along the lines of, "If there was any actor who should have been the Doctor, it's him." So yeah, it was like at a time when we weren't sure whether it was going to be the Unbound Doctor or not, wasn't it? We were like, is it just Warner playing a different role? Because he's played so many roles at Big Finish.
He's a regular, isn't he?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he had one with John Hurt, didn't he? Where he was like one of those ancient people from the dawn of time, resurrecting Time Lords. Yeah, he's done quite a bit.
And just the narration in Black Hole as well. Like, not a character in it, just doing the narration.
He's all over. He was a Big Finish mainstay, and very much missed. But here we are, a last hurrah for him as the Unbound Doctor, set before he met Benny, before his universe all imploded by the looks of things, and alongside not quite the Ninth Doctor, because obviously Once and Future storyline is Doctor drifting through both past and future faces, and the future faces landed on this one. For this one is the Ninth Doctor, reuniting with Liv as well and the Lumiate. So, yeah, I'm going to be honest though. I feel like this is my least favourite cover art now for Once and Future.
It looks like we've got the Sandmen back from Sleep No More, which is not a good thing to be reminded of.
It's just, it feels a bit of a messy cover. It's sort of giving me throwbacks to the original Artist at the End of Time cover.
But the limited is gorgeous. So I don't.
It's made up for there. That is
there we
beautiful.
Go. So I'm glad I've got the limited one because that will look absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I think first time I've preferred the limited actually. It's just good. I mean, we knew to expect this with the limited though. We knew it was going to be Ninth Doctor and Unbound Doctor. Like, you couldn't have those two in the Cascella and not have David Warner on the limited edition cover. Would have been sacrilege. There'd have been
uproar. It's his last one, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful tribute to him there. I mean, I imagine there'll be a audio tribute at the start.
I wouldn't be surprised if they used the tribute from the podcast as like a little extra, like they did with John Hurt.
Yeah, maybe. Did they do a little tribute? Well, actually, on the extended extras, they have been diving into like different things. Like on the Genius for War one, there was quite a long chat with Beth Chalmers about how she's been at Big Finish for a long, long while now, playing loads of different characters, and said it's like a tribute to her in a way. So I imagine for the extended extras on this, there'll be a more in-depth chat about David Warner. But yeah, I mean, before, like at the start of some audios, they have this is dedicated to the memory of.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will be at the start, or because I don't think that was there for Blood and Steel, unless I misremember.
No, they didn't know.
So that'd be nice. Best limited cover, worst standard cover. I hope for a good poster, said Hoovy in a small collection. I keep forgetting about the posters.
Yeah, because we haven't got the CDs, so you can't exactly go, I wonder what the poster's going to be.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Artists at the End of Time.
I reckon we're just going to get like a whole bulk load of them together. Yeah, I mean, the whole series at this point.
Yeah, we're waiting on 3 at this point, plus the slip cover. And we're still yet to have anything along those lines. We don't know quite when Martian Invasion of Planetoid 50 is coming out this month yet, but I imagine it will be out before those arrive.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. I think that's a very safe bet.
Yeah, I mean, maybe get a big box of 4 at once.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Have the standard editions been going out?
I've seen the standards for Artist and maybe Genius of War. I don't know. I've definitely seen Artist at any time, but I can't say I've seen the others. But I've not really paid attention.
They probably all post in October to come out before the 60th. Yeah, it would be nice to get them before the 60th. I feel like it would be a bit deflating if we didn't get them until after that.
They might arrive when Coda comes out, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Have to wait whole year, wait for the 61st anniversary. Well. But I suppose, shall we dive in? Do you want to start with the recent box set first? Have a chat about Traveling
Yeah,
Hope on its own?
yeah, because we've not spoke about that, and
Mm.
I know your thoughts. You don't know mine.
No, I don't. Oh, could be anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I surprised you with the headless ones, so you know.
I'm certainly quite positive on this one, actually. I'd say. I
Yeah.
mean, we've sort of like been teasing it for a little while now, haven't we?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was genuinely surprised by how much I enjoyed this box set. How about you?
I think that this is the closest to 2005 Eccleston we've had. I would say. I would say that this is the best box set since Back to Earth.
Yeah, I would have to agree there. I think it is really strong. I mean, certainly, I think Series 3 as a whole actually is looking very good compared to Series 2. Like, I'm still not a huge fan of the one episode format only. Like, I would like a bit of variety. But I feel like at least they are honing it quite a bit now with these sets.
Yeah, because I think the problem with Series 2, it was sort of the stories were made and it was just trying to find an umbrella title what links these stories together. And I think Series 3's kind of still got it, but I think they're just maybe more enjoyable stories.
Yeah, there's just better stories within there, really, is the main thing to take away, I feel like. Maybe they had a bit more time to prep them. Maybe it's just worked out that way. Maybe all the poorer stories are back-ended to the next two volumes. Hopefully not. And I feel like we're on a solid run at the moment. But yeah, I mean, one problem I do think has been mostly solved is Companion of the Week.
Yeah.
I feel like you have stories like Last of the Zetterstein in Into the Stars, where it's very obvious that this character's almost just there to bounce off the Doctor and ask questions. Like it feels like they're almost surplus to the main story. They've only been introduced to serve the typical companion role. In stories like Below There, the first episode of Traveling Hope, what you would immediately see as the companion of the week, Vix Leeson, is the heart and soul of the story. Without her, there is no Below There to exist. She is an interesting, very RTD character, very real, I would say.
I got a sort of Adelaide Brooke offer, sort of feel offer,
yeah.
sort of Lindsay Duncan.
Yeah, very working class as well, but like in a space age working class. And so with that character, you get a pretty brutal depiction of late stage capitalism out in space. And, you know, it's a ghost story that goes in some interesting directions with that. And like I say, she is the heart and soul of the story. It wouldn't work if she wasn't as instantly likable as she is. The actress that I got to play her, whose name's slipped my memory at this moment, she is incredible. A real tour de force in this story, and certainly carries it because the Ninth Doctor's sort of absent for a fair chunk towards the start, isn't he?
Yeah, it reminds me of sort of a Doctor Light story you'd get in the RTD era, like a not the level of Blink, but you've got a sort of memorable character like Sally Sparrow, or I would say.
Yeah, he takes more of a prominent role later on, and certainly has a bit of fun towards the start. But the start is mainly about getting to know Vix, getting to know her routine on the space station, because she is alone, it seems, out in deep space, no company, only her computer to talk to. And so a lot of this story is just her early on. And she is insanely real and likable. And yeah, very much that is what you need for this story, and helps so much later on when you're getting into the quote unquote plot because there's a lot of plot early on as well. You just don't notice it because it's very much painting a mystery, and it's works very well as a spooky story as well. It has some genuine scares, and while listening to it at night, I did, have to do a double take at some reflections in the windows. I will admit.
Yeah, it's a good one coming up for Halloween. I'd say. I think it's a good spooky Eccleston story. Probably the spookiest, I would say. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'd say Station to Station is the early on that maybe comes close. But yeah, I'm not really sure if Eccleston's had that many creepy stories yet on audio. None that come to mind. I mean, Girl Deconstructed is creepy in more of an existential sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, any negatives to say about Below There then?
Honestly, it sets the box set in the right direction because I enjoyed Pioneers. I thought it's solid, like it's still it's rocky but solid. Whereas I think Below There sort of sets the bar going, oh, this is gonna be a good one, So it sort of got rid of the, I don't want to say Ninth Doctor fatigue, because I think there was an element in series 2 with us where maybe we're starting to take Eccleston for granted, and that's not a good thing because we didn't think we'd be in this reality where we have 3 series of Christopher Eccleston on audio.
Yeah, because I mean, if you go back to like March when Series 3 was announced, whichever stream we were doing at that time, there was very much a sense of, we're still doing this, are we?
Yeah.
But yeah, it has started to turn around now. I think Pioneers, like you say, solid box set. No standouts for me. I mean, I think you're a big fan of
Northern Lights.
Yeah. I would say for me, that's the most consistent box set is Pioneers for a good while.
Yeah.
Certainly, Traveling Hope gets off to a strong start with Below There. That is my favorite story since Station to Station back to Earth, which, both brilliant. So, yeah, I mean, that's where we both stand with Below There, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So, shall we go to the next story in the set? Which, as you said, I know nothing about where you stand on this one.
Yeah.
So, I'll let you take it away.
The Butler did it, quite literally. This one's great for Eccleston's comedy, I would say. I think one thing what I will commend Eccleston is he never phones it in. He's always present in these box sets. He doesn't phone it in. And I think The Butler did it, and I would say Run, I think, are just some real good Eccleston performances, to be honest. But as a story, it's a quick one. It's 47 minutes, set on this sort of garage planet asteroid thing.
Yeah, it's like a little halfway point, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you stop off there, get some repairs, and then on your way. You don't want to stick around here for long.
Yeah, it's the comedic story of the box, I would say. I mean, each story has their own sort of fun elements, but I think this one is playing it for a comedy because I think James Kettle is more of a comedic writer, I would say.
This is James Moran.
Oh, is it James Moran?
Yeah, of Fires of Pompeii fame. But yeah, certainly he's going for a more comedic approach here.
But I can see it being, you can see it very RTD with like it being the budget story. I would say you can see it being like a night shoot one. And there's a character in it, sort of the companion of the week, who sounds very Jodie Whittaker-y. I would say, I was like, is that Jodie? We're going to get 13 Doctor Chronicles now? Have we found our Jacob Dudman for Jodie?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it is the closest you come to a companion of the week.
Yeah.
These, but I feel like at least it feels like there's a purpose to her in the story, in that the Doctor is very much an inspiration to her, really. And I think Christopher Eccleston himself has said he quite likes it when his Doctor isn't necessarily one with all the answers, but is instead inspiring others to do great things and save the day. And this very much has that feel running through it.
So I love the good cop, bad cop thing they have going on, which is great, especially when they're on the little spaceship interrogating the one who can't leave because of the gases. Which is good because it gives that sort of companion of the week some agency, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, the format for this is very much that of an Agatha Christie novel, isn't it? You know,
it feels very Unicorn and the Wasp type level.
Yes, and in the way it's playing with that format. But
or Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like it doesn't necessarily live up to that style. I don't know. It's more taking the mickey of it, which is all well and good and fun. But at the same time, it never really uses it to its strengths. It's sort of like taking the surface level thing of, okay, we have the interrogation scene here. But I never felt engaged with this as a mystery. I never felt like I was trying to pick up on the clues and work out, okay, so this character knows this. So what does that mean? Where's this going? And, you know, I never felt like I was involved as a detective. I feel like instead it was just, let's run around, shout at people.
Numbers. Yeah,
and then reveal who it is at the end. But again, it is at least short, 48 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 47.
So, it's not dragged out in that sense. I think it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just fun enough.
Yeah.
I mean, of Series 3, the closest to a dud. But I would take it over, say, The False Dimitri from Back to Earth any day.
Is it? What's the ones in? Oh, I'm trying to think. What's the middle one in Pioneers? No, that's Northern Lights.
Last of the Zeta Scene.
Last of the Zeta Scenes.
Oh no, middle one in Pioneers, Northern Lights.
Northern Lights, yeah. I'm not a fan of the Green Gift. I think The Butler did its better than Green Gift, I would say. For me.
I'd say. Yeah, Butler did it is over quicker than the Green Gift as well. I think the Green Gift did have its problems. Yeah. But I don't Again, like I said, it is quite consistent though overall, Series 3 so far. So I don't think either of them stand out as a stinker. They're just, on the weaker side. Really. Yeah. And then we come to Run. Which, again, I'm going to let you take it away, because, again, I do not know what to expect from this one.
I think this is my favourite Eccleston audio in probably since Auld Lang Syne. Possibly since Station to Station. I think this has all the flair of 2005 Doctor Who. It feels very much like a new series book, I would say. I feel like it belongs in that sort of genre.
I love how it's quite similar to, from Classic Doctor's New Monsters, The House That Hawks Built. It feels like a companion piece to that for me, in that story was taking elements of the Ninth Doctor's era, the space side of that, and tying them wonderfully in with the Pertwee era space side, because I feel like in both those eras, RTD and the Letts and Dicks era, they built out very clear visions of what Earth's future looks like in space.
Yeah.
And House That Hawks Built was a wonderful marriage of that in the Pertwee era. This, I mean, with Alpha there, Ice Warriors and such, loads of other references. You have a reference to a senator from Rax Coraco Falapatorius
being done for fraud.
Yeah, all that comes together to create that same wonderful melding of those two worlds, which really work well together and really paint a strong picture for this political thriller.
Yeah, and I think Eccleston and AC, what a combo. And
wonderful
like
stuff.
I say, Eccleston, I possibly this is his best Big Finish performance for me, because you can tell he's having a lot of fun with it, and I think the story allows him to have this level of fun with him being sort of Alpha Centauri's sort of personal aid, because this is basically Alpha Centauri's origin story. Before Curse of Paladin and all that. So it's maybe unbiased because it's linking to the Pertwee years, but it's a real fun romp. What even like the news broadcasters, they sound like the modulation is very Android.
It feels very 2005, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that just calls to that inner 7-year-old in me where I'm like, I'm watching that show again. I'm watching Doctor Who for the first time.
Yeah, it all marries together wonderfully, I feel. And also is a very strong story as well. I think there's one particular element of it which is rather obvious, but I don't mind it. There's like a reveal that you can clearly see coming from a mile off, but I don't care that it's obvious.
Yeah. And it feels like an early Big Finish because the amount of multi-rolling Nick Briggs is doing within it. So
there's quite a lot of characters throughout this, but
you
never feel like you're lost in that.
It sort of feels like End of the World with like all the alien species you get within it. You can see it being done.
Yeah, you can very much see them pushing the boat out and trying to make this one happen. And I mean, of course, you've got Ice Warriors in there as well, or one Ice Warrior. Don't go in expecting this to be an Ice Warrior story. It is much more, I'd say, closest TV equivalent would be Curse of Peladon.
Yeah.
In terms of their role.
Because the main baddie is Bellatrix Ventrix or something like that.
Yeah.
Who's
Bellatrix
very much
Vega?
Yeah, that's it. Who's very Russell T Davies level camp female villain, like Mrs. Foster, I would say, but more sinister.
Yeah, very. Jane Asher, isn't it, playing her?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's wonderful how the political satire in this is so strong. I think this one plays wonderfully with the idea of business practically taking over politics. And how voters are influenced. There's a wonderful way of portraying Alpha within this story, how they are much more of an outsider in society, or like Alpha Centaurians in general, when it comes to the Galactic Federation, are looked down upon slightly as weak. And there's a wonderful moment how it's said that, those are always the first to be targeted, but it never stops there. I think, Eccleston responds, Turkey's voting for Christmas. It is so true, sadly, to real world politics at the moment. So it doesn't hold anything back when it comes to the analysis of the world around us, and does so beautifully in an hour. It has a lot to say, and it manages to say it all very well and tie it into what is actually a fun story at the same time. Despite those depressing real world politics bleeding in, it doesn't drown in them, but at the same time, it doesn't make light of them.
Yeah, it's enough to keep the kids entertained with aliens, but enough to keep the adults hooked with the subtext and the message,
and also keep us entertained with aliens, car chases, all that fun stuff. Wonderful
political intrigue and killing, and
all comes together very nicely. Great set of villains. It does leave you guessing at times as well. I mean, I said there was one obvious reveal, but I think there are a few other intriguing parts of it. I love, the Ninth Doctor running AC's campaign.
Yeah.
I think that all works out very nicely. Whovian Small Collection said, loved run Alpha really sells it. I'm not someone who likes the Alpha stories, but this one was perfect. I mean, is this the first Alpha story not to be set on Peladon? We've had a bit of an Alpha Renaissance. I suppose Empress of Mars actually on TV, but they're hardly in that, so that feels a bit cheaty.
Yeah, because Bride of Paladin box set. Yeah, I think you're right,
I think it's nice to take those characters in that world, but take it away from Peladon for a change.
Yeah.
Peladon's great. It's wonderful building the Galactic Federation a bit more here.
It's a character
especially
study.
With an origin story.
Yeah, it's a character piece for Alpha, which is amazing that we're getting that, 50 years later.
Yeah, well, this
51.
character's been around for a long time, and it's still going strong.
Best
I think
Alpha story?
maybe on audio, yeah.
Yeah, on audio, definitely audio.
Yeah. I mean, I really did love Run. I don't know whether I prefer it to Below There or not. I think they're
Run's
both very strong.
king for me.
It may very well be. I think I'd have to listen to both again, but yeah, it's great having two really strong stories together in a set, and a third one which is pretty good as well. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing what I did notice with the Butler did it, it's sort of hinting that, come on now, Chris, you need a companion. Like, come on, like, how long can we do for a series without a companion?
Although
so
Run
even,
does come along then and do fine without one.
Yeah,
I think it does go, and it does go to show really that the two strongest stories are the ones that work completely fine without a companion. They're not built around that slot in the story. And yeah, I think that's where a lot of these have been at their best, particularly in the one part format where you almost need that role a little bit more to expedite things, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, because with Old Friends, for example, you've kind of got Companion of the Week there with the Brigadier, but you forgive it because it's the Brigadier.
Yeah. Well, technically you got, Warren Brown's character, Sam.
Yeah,
as well,
Sam Bishop and his girlfriend as well. There's sort of like a mini team for that story. But you get the time to build them up as well before diving into the main threat.
So where are we going to put Traveling Hope?
Shall we save it till last?
Yeah.
I think we've said our thoughts on the individual stories. Now should we go through all of the box sets?
Yes.
And then keep people waiting on Traveling Hope.
It's definitely made me hopeful for Eccleston's future.
I think I'm glad we're getting a break though. I think it is still needed after 10 box sets each 3 months apart. I think it's nice to have this breather now, and especially now that we're coming off some stronger sets, build up that hype a lot more.
Yeah, because I think we had that with Old Friends, like, oh wow, Back to Earth's going to be exciting because we had that momentum from the last box set.
Yeah, I think this will allow the momentum we've got going at the moment to build up a lot more, and also to then have a feeling of, yay, Eccleston's back. It's actually fresh rather than, okay, another Eccleston box set. Here we go.
Yeah, go through the motions of it all.
Yeah. I mean, shall we talk about a time when it was all fresh? When we had Ravagers doing.
Is it weird to get nostalgic about this and it's only 2 years?
I know what you mean. I think it was a different time though, wasn't it? Because we were still very much in the grips of a pandemic. I mean, COVID still is around today, but there's, no restrictions going on here. It was still sort of the height of that, really, or just coming off the height of that. And so it does feel like longer ago than perhaps was.
Yeah, it's just the 13th of May, the social media buzz, everyone going, it's here, it's happening. Everyone
so many
sharing,
people, even more than Tennant, it seemed to draw in, because I suppose it's that scarcity factor, isn't it?
Yeah.
He only had the one series. Tennant had 3 whole series and some specials. And it was also always expected that he'd do big finish. There was no surprise there when he finally did. And so with Ninth Doctor, and also there'd been a longer break since we'd last heard him as the Doctor. So all those factors came together to have a real big community celebratory feel when Ravagers dropped. And I think especially with it being one long story,
which is
that
bold
as well.
Because if you look at how they introduced Tennant, I guess the War Doctor kind of has this format in a way, unbeknown to us. But you'd think Eccleston would be more of a newbie, get the newbies in, where you'd think, here's some free standalone Eccleston stories, enjoy, whereas this is, one big story.
Mm.
So it doesn't play it safe. It's going, this is what audio can do with the show.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think also it's going huge bombastic, isn't it? There's especially in that first episode, it's very quick at just 42 minutes, one of the shortest like audio dramas Big Finish has put out. Like in the hour-long slot, I guess.
Yeah.
You do have some like 22-minute ones. But if it's a one disc thing, you expect it to be approximately an hour. It's only 42, but I don't mind that. It's a brisk start to the story, throws you in the deep
It's
end.
punchy.
Yeah. And I think it's a pretty strong setup. It's certainly a very timey-wimey story. It's not very typical for Russell T Davies era.
It's very Nick Briggs, because Nick has got his, I don't want to say Nick's got tropes, but he's got tropes. He's got his little box of
Non-linear.
tropes. Yeah. You know, creatures of beauty, annihilators, to name a few.
Yeah. But it's just fun, really. But,
yeah,
I can't, like, when you look at a lot of the other box sets, I feel like there's been better ones since, ones I'd recommend over this. I think this very much worked as an event to get things started, get the ball rolling, get everyone.
It's a piece of history,
celebrate.
I would say.
Yeah. It's a monument in that sense. But I don't think people now would get as much out of it. It's one of those you just had to be there things.
Yeah, because I met up with James the day it dropped, and literally all we could speak about was this box set. So it's got a place. It's got a place for us. I guess it's the equivalent of Dark Eyes, where Dark Eyes has probably more of a holding factor over our generation of listeners than maybe people getting into Big Finish now, because it was the closest thing we could get to McGann in the Time War. We have McGann in the Time War now. So it just shows, different eras, different times,
I mean, I'm leaning maybe has Hidden Depths.
Yeah, I'll go there. So I'm just looking at series 2.
Yeah, because I just think where everything else is going to go, I feel like this works out being slap bang in the middle.
Yeah.
Jackie Green said, I remember it being very exciting that we were getting more stories with the Ninth Doctor. When I heard the theme tune and his voice, it felt emotional. Yeah, it really did work up the emotions in it. That first trailer, the fact that we got a video trailer like before it even came out, that was insanely exciting. And hearing the music, I think that's one thing the Ninth Doctor Ventures really has going for it, is some brilliant new themes composed for him for audio.
And it's that sort of nostalgia bait, because he was my first Doctor. So there's something quite special about having all that stuff to recreate that buzz and to feel like a 7-year-old just about to dive into this show. It captures that,
Yeah. I mean, another one that's very much going for capturing the RTD era style and that feel was Respond to All Calls, in that we have your sort of typical series opener setup of present and then past, future, future, past, whichever way round you're going to do it. This one goes for past and future. And so I think it was quite a good decision to go one big story and then follow that up with 3 smaller scale stories. And this very much was that set, wasn't it? You've got no turning monsters yet.
Yeah.
This is character focused. It's about the Doctor responding to calls, people in distress. He's there to help. You got that wonderful video trailer as well to accompany this box set. And I'd say no dud.
Yeah, I still stand by this as one of my favorites in the range.
I think it's one that's easily forgotten, partially because there's no returning monster there. Like, this is sandwiched between Ninth Doctor and Cybermen and big bombastic return for Ninth Doctor. So this was always in a bit of a precarious place when it came to that first series, because it probably is the least likely to draw people in to buy it. Like, there's less of a appealing factor for this set.
Yeah.
But certainly I don't hold that against it, because those stories are all the better for it, really. It shows that you don't always need those returning elements. You just need some strong ideas, strong characters. And this has that in spades.
Yeah. Because Girl Deconstructed, I still stand by, as one of the closest RTD stories out there. And after
So
Ravagers being so far away from that, because I think that's Eccleston's, the Ninth Doctor's got such a strong character journey. You kind of have to remove that baggage of what you know about him with these audios, because I don't think it's kind of the John Hurt War Doctor syndrome, where you're not getting the character of the War Doctor. You're kind of getting, this is Chris Eccleston back as the Doctor having fun. It's stripped away all the angst and Time War PTSD stuff. It's kind of, what if Eccleston had a series 2, but Rose just isn't there, really.
Yeah. And I think also for Chris as well, he wanted that. The reason the role of the Doctor appealed to him so much, and he loved playing him so much, was because he was a much less depressing character than most of the other roles he's played. And he got to be, a hero to children. He got to have a bit of a comedy routine with it.
Yeah.
And so this is very much playing to those strengths a lot more. You certainly have it underneath the surface, but it's tucked down a lot more, because it's not a relevant story arc at this point. On TV, it's important to the Ninth Doctor's arc. Here, that arc's still there, but it's not quite got going yet. He's not met Rose yet. And so, all that trauma's there, but he's shrugging it off. And I think also, people who are suffering with trauma and such, people who are depressed, you don't always notice it. You don't necessarily need the Doctor to be moping around all the time throughout these box sets to have a damaged character with him.
Yeah.
He can still be damaged and still be putting on a happy face, still be having fun occasionally. So, I think all power to Big Finish with the approach they've taken.
Absolutely.
But
the power's in our hands now to put it somewhere.
Salvation 9 out of 10 or top spot? I'll leave.
I was thinking top spot, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it works there.
I think it's got no duds. And like we say, it's sandwiched between, other things. I think it deserves more recognition than it probably gets.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. But I mean, here we have it though. The Cybermen, a new Cyberman design as well. Very exciting, wonderful look there. But Lost Warriors, a box set, I think, is where we started to become a bit disillusioned with the Ninth Doctor. This is where those cracks started to show for us.
Yeah, it's the weakest of Series 1, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, I think
for me.
Agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I think Hunting Season is the weakest episode of Series 1 by far.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, did not get on with that one. Curse of Lady Macbeth, I do quite like, though.
Yes, because it's interesting how we're playing with Eccleston's sort of real life interest, as it were. With this.
And I mean, we still are with this.
Yeah, we are.
Like Northern Lights, he had very much an interest in the real life story of that explorer whose name escapes me now.
Yeah.
Friedrich Nansen?
Yeah.
But yeah, he very much had an interest in that historical figure, mentioned it in passing, and then Rob Valentine went away and wrote a story about him. So yeah, with that was Lizzie Hopley's approach to Curse of Lady Macbeth as well. She knew Eccleston was a big Macbeth. Feels weird to say fan, but I suppose the Ninth Doctor says fan about Charles Dickens, so it's not necessarily wrong to say that.
Yeah. The main star is Cybermen. Monster in Metropolis is the standout.
Yeah. It was one that I didn't necessarily get the first time round, I suppose.
Mhm.
Like, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't getting the rave reviews that it was getting.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
re-listened to it, especially, I think it helped that we had old friends afterwards,
Mm.
because, I felt like they
That's
maybe
it.
wasted the Cybermen a bit in their
Yeah.
only Ninth Doctor story, or what seemed like was going to be their only Ninth Doctor story, because it does take them in a very different direction, a very beautiful and wonderful direction. But nevertheless, you're sort of there going, can I just have a typical monster
Yeah.
story with the Cybermen and Ninth Doctor, please? I mean, I don't want to call Way of the Buryman and Last of the... no, the Fourth Generation, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to call that a basic Cyberman story, because it isn't. It has a lot more going on with it than that. But at the same time, it has that as its basis, as a
Mhm.
cyber invasion story, and is wonderful for that. This is doing something very different. And upon re-listening to it, maybe with that hindsight, it isn't the only Cyberman Ninth Doctor story we're getting, helping a bit. I saw just how wonderful this story was, how much it had to say about the time period it is setting. It is Germany during the 1930s, I believe,
Yeah.
or is it 20s?
I think it's 20s, isn't it?
Yeah,
When Metropolis came out, I think.
yeah, I think 20s, and I think 1930s is hunting season.
Yeah, because it's sort of the rise of a certain party, isn't it?
Yeah, there's certainly dark clouds on the horizon. Yeah, I mean, I love Monsters in Metropolis.
Yeah, it's my
It
favourite of the
comes
box
together
set.
wonderfully. Yeah, but hunting season drags it down, so I feel like maybe has hidden
Shades of
depths.
Quality. Oh yeah, I'd say that actually, because I think series 2.
Yeah, because I personally am not sure whether I'd say it's worse than Ravagers or not. I feel like they're on the same level, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we come to Old Friends, which, I mean, stick it in the top already. Go for it.
It's the easiest one to put up there,
It is strongest of series 1. Brilliant two-parter with the Cybermen, Brigadier, everything you want that story to be, it is, and more.
It's a finale. It is. You like, if this is the last Eccleston audio, I'm happy, because it's one of those things we didn't really expect going into it, because it was literally, I think, the initial buzz of just the day it was released. By the way, the Cybermen Brigadier, like that was maybe plays a factor in it, just why we get so buzzed about it. But the story itself is immense.
Yeah.
It has that RTD for finality feel to it, really.
Wonderful build up throughout part 1. You almost feel like it's going to be over towards the end of part 1, but then it throws a curveball. It says, nope, you think you're solving the problem, things are about to get a whole lot worse. And it has some beautiful imagery of the Cybermen attacking the
train
in the fourth and such.
And just being on the seabed with like the 10th planet Mondasian light just on the seabed, like stellar.
All wonderful stuff. And so, yeah, it deserves the top spot. Also, again, the what's the other story? Fond Farewell always slips through the cracks, but it is a wonderful story. Very RTD, very end of the world.
You want to skip it because the Cybermen are up next.
But I think it does add to what's to come. It's quite a poignant story about loss, about why we have funerals is very much the question it's posing. Is it for the living or is it for the dead? And it's a question which there isn't necessarily an answer to, but it's wonderfully explored through the medium of sci-fi by having someone attend their own funeral. And obviously, it's Doctor Who. Things go wrong there. You have these wonderful killer robot type creatures with a typical RTD catchphrase. Yeah, I really do enjoy Fond Farewell. I think it's a strong little appetizer before the main course.
Yeah, I think if I was to pick up one box set, it would be that one, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely the one I recommend the most. I mean, it does sort of tie into an arc in a way, but not really.
It's a very weird arc, but there is an arc there, but you don't think it until you get to Old Friends, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of is helped if you do listen to Monsters in Metropolis beforehand, but it's not necessary. You're not going to be at a loss at all. It's just like a one-off little mention that you go, oh, so that's what was going on there, and then you move on because the story has other places to be. So yeah, definitely you can go for Old Friends on its own, but if you do want to get a bit more out of it, getting Lost Warriors won't hurt, but not at all necessary to understand the plot. And also, the Brigadier and Ninth Doctor, why wouldn't you want that?
Exactly.
It's also the latest in the timeline that they've met, the Doctor and the Brigadier.
Yeah, it is.
At this point, because we've yet to get any 10th Doctor and Brigadier audios, which I'm sure we got to get one at some point. That just feels,
we have to.
Yeah. It's David Tennant meeting the Brigadier. It feels obvious. Ben Jones says, really enjoying your video, guys. Thank you, Ben. Just a quick question. Do you have to listen to Lost Warriors to listen to Old Friends with the Cyberman connection? Sorry.
I think we just covered it.
We already answered that. But I'd say, you're fine to dive into Old Friends without having listened to Lost Warriors. There is a connection there, but I'm trying to think of something that's similar. I mean,
it's like Bad Wolf in a way, kind of.
Yeah. Or even, for a classic example, Planet of the Daleks. You can easily dive into that one without having watched Frontier in Space. Like, it's like how you have that one scene in Planet of the Daleks where the Doctor says about, oh, well, clearly that was just part of their plan. It seems they want to invade the universe anyway with this Dalek army here. It's sort of like you have that one little scene connecting the two, and then you're moving on from it, really. And I think it's quite obvious what that scene is. You're not at a loss to it at all. You're just like, oh, so that relates to the previous Cyberman story. Gotcha. On we go with Old Friends. So, yeah, Ben, if you are interested in Old Friends, you can dive into it without any homework and enjoy, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So it is the best Eccleston.
Yeah. Jackie Green said, From Farewell was really good, I thought. All three stories made this the best box set of season 1. Agreed. Maybe the best box set overall. I think so.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. Back to Earth now. Another pretty strong one for the most part.
Yeah, I think Station to Station at Old Lang Syne, some of the finest Big Finish.
But I mean, we do differ a bit with False Dimitri, though. I absolutely can't stand it. I've struggled with it on first listen, constantly checking my watch, thinking, when is this going to be over? It dragged a lot. And I feel like it was a shame because it's such an interesting concept of this False Dimitri. But it feels like the historical fact is more interesting than
the sci-fi element they play
on it. The story that's come from it, which is a shame. I'd say that one drags it down more for me than it does for you. But at the same time, you do have two brilliant stories by the side of it, with Station to Station. Very much feels like a series opener. Gets that down perfectly. And it's amazing how it's only 3 months after Old Friends, but you still have that kick of the Ninth Doctor is back.
It's kind of that shock. Wow, we're getting series 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a wow moment. And do you want to take it away with Old Lang Syne then?
Yeah, Old Lang Syne. Tim Foley's done a New Year's special, and in the next set, you'll get your Christmas Tim Foley.
You get a lot of Tim Foley.
This one, I think the beauty of Back to Earth, in the case of Station to Station and Old Lang Syne, is it has a lot of character heart, and it's about this family returning to this house, every New Year's, and it has such an emotional core to it. And when you get to the final 20 minutes and you realize certain characters aren't there anymore, It pulls on your heartstrings, and it almost feels very sort of 11th Doctor-y. Look in the way the Ninth Doctor is this caretaker character. But it's so beautifully done. And if you enjoy Old Lang Syne, I highly recommend River Song, A Friend of a Family, which is the same concept, but done over 4 hours.
Yeah. But they both work beautifully because they are similar ideas, but both work very well to their strengths of their format and such. Snowflake asks, random question, but do you or do you not like the main range ending and the box set approach? Personally, I think it's better that Big Finish stopped the monthly range.
I think it's a double-edged sword because I do miss some elements of the monthly range.
Yeah,
but I like that we can play with the format with getting 6-parters and 7-parters now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a shame to see it go, but 275 releases, no bad thing.
I would have liked to have got to 300.
That would be satisfying. But... I mean, I think it would have done by now.
Yeah, it would probably.
Yeah. But, I think it's better to quit while you're ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice now that all the Doctors feel a bit more even.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all on an even footing when it comes to these box sets. So I think that works out quite nicely for the most. I mean, Fourth Doctor sort of is still edging ahead a bit because he's got 3 box sets a year rather than 1 or 2, and also Eighth Doctor seems to get all the special cameos and different things, which is crazy to think because when we started collecting Big Finish, Paul McGann was hardly ever available. It felt like you're lucky to be getting this 1 box set with him a year.
Because he's the main reason you get into Big Finish.
Yeah, to have more of him. But yeah, Back to Earth, I'd say Salvation 9 out of 10.
I'd agree. No. So I think even though False Dimitri's, it's there, I think the other 2 really propel it up.
I think it makes it get your money worth.
Yeah.
Sorry, just had a
some brain fart.
Yeah. You get your money's worth thanks to the other 2 stories, but be aware that there may be a bit of a dud in there. Jackie Green said Station to Station and Old Lang Syne I loved, wasn't keen on the False Dimitri. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Seems like we're on the pulse with that opinion there.
Because we're fine.
Or at least us and Jackie are. Yeah. Into the Stars. Sort of like what we had with Lost Warriors, where the cracks were starting to show. This was when it really became obvious to us that Ninth Doctor Adventures, some changes need to happen.
Yeah, I think this is the box set I've soured on the most. Because Salvation 9's great. It's nice to have Ninth Doctor and Sontarans in a not typical Sontaran story. That's great. Last of Us Etacine is God. Like I don't even know what it is.
Probably my least favorite of the whole run.
And then Tim Foley, with the Jack Frost one, it's good. It's good, but yeah.
My weird experience with it was I kind of want it to be Tennant, which was bizarre.
Yeah,
like why am I listening to a Ninth Doctor story going, can I have Tennant instead, please? I shouldn't be doing that.
It's very sort of Waters of Mars, isn't it, with Tim Foley one? Because it's like if one snowflake leaves, it could be the end.
That wonderful quality to it. But yeah, it's a very strong story. But yeah, I wonder whether Ninth Doctor was necessarily the best Doctor for it. But at the same time, it's nice for him to have a Christmas special. So
yeah. Don't know about this one. I wouldn't say it's my least favourite.
No.
But it's got my least favourite story in.
Yeah. So maybe Shades of Quality or Hazards and Depths.
I'd say
I do think Salvation 9 is strong.
Yeah, I'd go Shades of Quality, I'd say.
Yeah.
Hidden Depths. Oh God.
This was a struggle. Tom Mason, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Whovian with Small Collection said the Sontaran story is the only good story in Into the Stars. But yeah. Hidden Depths. I mean, I want to like Ninth Doctor and Sea Devils. It's better than 13th Doctor and Sea Devils.
Yeah.
That's about the most I can praise it. And then
it's very much like the Bernie Summerfield one. Because it has with Sea Devils in a different angle. Because it's not the atypical Sea Devils. Spoilers, they get harmony within it, and it's just a little bit. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. I think the Sea Devil one is for me.
Yeah. Random question, but how does a weeping angel work in audio, asked Tom Mason? I mean, usually there's a sound effect there.
Yeah.
Like a jump scare.
Or like a sting, yeah.
Yeah, just to make it obvious. I mean, Stone Cold has sort of like the sound of scraping stone as well.
Yeah.
To add to it. It's almost like the stone hardening when they're looked at.
I'd
say is the way it works. And also, you do have the typical thing of characters describing what they're seeing, but often it's done in the context where it works. Like Stone Cold does it through characters are radioing into the main base and such, so they're saying what they're seeing, so it doesn't feel too egregious there. But yeah, Hidden Depths. I mean, you can tell we're trying to avoid talking about Hidden Depths here.
Lay down your
arms. I feel like Northern Lights has a similar format, and it's done better there with meeting a historical figure and it being very much about them.
But you do an opera though.
I mean, I do like parts of it, but then it just goes really weird in the second act. Like, it is the second act that makes this one just such an odd one.
I think this is my problem with the next two boxes. Well, Hidden Depths and I think Shades of Fear. I really struggle to remember these stories.
Nothing stands out.
Yeah.
Like, there's never anything as poor as Last of the Zeta Scene, but nothing jumps out. And oftentimes it feels like there's wasted potential. Ninth Doctor and Sea Devils. Ninth Doctor, Liv and Tanya in Flat Pack. Wonderful idea there, but it feels like they're almost limited by the fact that they don't know where things are going with Liv in the 8th Doctor run. So there's no baggage there to pick up on. It is just, let's have a fun adventure with them. Maybe mention something vaguely, but because there's no mention of Helen at all, because they don't know what's going to happen to Helen. And I understand they don't want to write themselves into a corner with that. But the problem with that lack of clarity there is that the story lacks that same punch. Whereas School Reunion, because Sarah's story had all been and gone by then, you knew where you stood with her when she left. That's what gave it much more impact. There was an arc to pick up on somewhat. Same when RTD brought back any of his characters, it felt like we were picking up where they left off. Sometimes things had changed in the gap, but there was clarity as to what was happening with those characters. With this, it feels like they don't clearly know what they're doing with Liv. So you get Liv, but it could be Liv from multiple points in their timeline.
Yeah.
Like it's no clearly this is Liv after such and such and such happened.
It doesn't feel like a reunion, does it?
No.
It's like, Liv, how are you doing? Let's have an adventure,
Yeah, it brushes over that quite quickly, which is sad because I feel like that's the main draw of having them with the Ninth Doctor in particular. But yeah, I love the concept. I think that's a lot of fun. I think it is the strongest of this set, but it doesn't really save it at all. I'd say it's travel in hope of a better box set next time.
Yeah, I think it is the weakest of the Eccleston stuff.
Yeah. And then we didn't necessarily get a better box set next time.
No.
with Shades of Fear. So, yeah, where does this one stand for you?
I wasn't a fan of Red Darkness because I think the problem is it had too many characters for audio, and it was a bit jumpy all over the place. Going, oh, we need to go here now. And you're just trying to think, who's that character? What relation are they to the story? And the monster of the piece is in the last story of the Vashnarada, which is a nice sort of tie-in, but because I felt a bit empty on that story, I didn't feel any sort of, oh wow, they're back. And then, is it the Blooming Menace, the middle story?
Yeah, that's it.
Can't stand it. I can't get through it. I don't like it. It's sort of Zettisine level for me. And then I guess the best story is the Vashnarada one, and I think, I think the story outstays its welcome. I think it's a little bit too long.
I feel like it's the right length, but it just burns too much of its oil early on.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of dragging at the end. I think that's a wonderful ideas within it. It's wonderful how it's Callan, isn't it?
Yeah, Callan and Doyle.
Yeah. They are a wonderful pair, and I like how Callan's not blindness.
Short-sighted.
Short-sightedness, isn't it? Yeah. Is how that works with the story, how that's very much, baked into it. And Doyle as well. What a good boy he is.
Yeah, very
that's
good boy.
That's just a wonderful character to have in this story. And I love that they got to carry on into the next. I wish we had more time with them.
You'd think they would do, if they knew they were going to get rid of Callan, maybe just do 2 stories in Pioneers, and then
just have a box set with them, because you're already telling us that there were adventures in between. You've already basically made them companions for the Ninth Doctor, but it feels odd not to fully commit to that.
And it kind of gets rid of one of our criticisms by giving Eccleston a companion. If you have him with just one box set where you have that, but no.
Yeah, I suppose. Is it another Travelling Hope of a better box set next time, or do you think there's shades of quality here?
I'd say it's down the bottom still.
Yeah, I won't stop you there. I do prefer it to Hidden Depths.
Okay, I'll be fair, and I'll do the tier list properly.
Do we ever?
No, we never do a tier list properly. It's just kind of, we place it there, it's there.
Yeah. I mean, that's all like the glory of tier lists, really, isn't it? It's not a full-on ranking.
Yeah.
We're not having to struggle to work out exactly which one goes where. It's just a general feeling of, that feels about right. So here we go, Pioneers. As we said earlier, consistent stuff. I'd probably say Salvation 9 out of 10. Or are you thinking has Hidden Depths?
I'd say Hidden Depths.
I'll agree.
So I'm not a fan of the Green Gift. The other 2 stories I like.
Yeah, I won't stand against you for that one.
Because I don't feel like the 2 stories that are good within Pioneers are the same level as Station to Station and Old Lang Syne. That's just my feeling.
Yeah, I'll allow that one, especially with where we're probably going to go next with Travelling Hope.
Yeah.
I think it was also sort of nice after Shades of Fear and Hidden Depths to go to Pioneers and actually be like, oh, Ninth Doctor's getting a bit better again.
Because this is a thing, we were debating whether to pick it up because of how Series 2 left us. And with the price hike, it was sort of a nice feeling that, oh, that's great. I'm glad I purchased it.
It was a sigh of relief, wasn't it, Pioneers?
Yeah.
To be like, okay, it's looking good. And it's still looking good, because as we said earlier, with Travelling Hope, we have hope for the future.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the top 2. I'd probably say Salvation 9 out of 10. but a strong Salvation 9 out of 10. But I mean,
it's this is the thing. It's better than False Dimitri. Like Butler did it, but I think runs like a solid 9 out of 10. Yeah, I'd agree.
Run and Below there are 9 out of 10s.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say it is a better box set than Back to Earth. I'd say it's the best box set since Old Friends, but it doesn't quite rival Old Friends or Respond to All Calls. I think they do have the benefit of not having a single thing close to a dud in there. They're all very, very strong stories. Travel and Hope is 2 very, very strong stories and 1 okay fun story. No bad story in there, no dud, but certainly one that holds it back from that same level that Old Friends and Respond to All Calls are at. So, if you haven't picked up any Ninth Doctor yet, which I would be surprised by, but if you haven't, then
this is the definitive
maybe Old Friends or Respond to All Calls should be your place to start.
Yeah, I'd say so. But yeah, we're hopeful for Eccleston now. We've got the optimism. I'm sure when Series 3 ends, we'll do this tier list again, but individually with the stories, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll go back to that and add them on. We've got about a year until that happens, though. Well, 9 months. Ends in May. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get Series 4 come October.
Yeah.
Tom Mason asks, hope this is okay to ask, but why does Luke never show his face? I don't know, really. I don't quite have the same backgrounds that Ben does for this. I don't have a TARDIS cover behind me, sadly.
No, he just has a
bit more shy, really.
Yeah.
No special reason. Just feel comfortable as it is, really.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's all right with everyone. There are some where I've showed my face before, if you want to.
Yeah.
I can find so. I think the Third Doctor Adventures tier list, I believe. Not Third Doctor Adventures tier list. Third Doctor TV stories. That was it. Yeah, pretty cool one. My face is all over that. So yeah, it's not that I'm never showing my face, but yeah. Loved Kelly Adams in Below Deck. Yes, Kelly Adams. That was who played Vix Leeson. Wonderful.
Very good. Very good.
Even a Small Collection says, I have a really dumb theory about the next box set just because of one line in Father's Day. Fire away.
Go for it.
Any hopes for the next couple of box sets?
Rose, but I don't think we're getting Rose.
I feel like if we get Rose, it'll be its own special box set. I feel like the Ninth Doctor Adventures, these series are sort of very specifically the Ninth Doctor solo adventures at this point.
Yeah, I feel like we might be getting to a place where we get Nine and Rose, because I think Eccleston's met up with Billy. He's been talking about Billy a bit. I'm like, come on, guys, this has got to be it, because that will break the internet, I would say. That would be the same level as like a Doctor joining Big Finish, I would say.
Yeah, it would be. And we've had them both. We've got Rose out this month. So yeah, why not bring them together if possible?
I would like something like Ravagers again, a bit like what the War Doctor Begins range does with the one long story. I would like something like that, really.
Yeah, I hope this series ends in a 2-parter at least. But I do have my worries that that's not going to be the case based on that initial announcement, where I believe they mentioned 12 episodes, that's 12 stories. So it seems like that they are all going to be individual again. But I would not complain if I was proved wrong there.
I want a 2-part finale again.
Yeah, because that was so amazing last time. But, it's just good to have a bit of variety in length there.
There's one thing I wish they did from the start is have like little next time trailers as well.
Oh,
like really lean into 2005 Doctor Who or just RTD. Like, oh, it'd be so good.
And it's it. River Song, I'd also like. That would work for a 2-part finale.
Yes.
River in there.
Especially now her series has ended. Like, it's the
Yeah.
only
Yeah, like,
way they can do it now, I guess.
we're waiting for her to tick off the 9th Doctor and the 2nd Doctor. So you might as well have them meet in 9th Doctor Adventures.
Mm.
And yeah, and then maybe a return for the Brigadier again. There's no reason he can't meet the 9th Doctor more than once.
Mm.
Yeah, I also think that's something we need over the next 2 box sets is a return to present day Earth.
Yeah.
Because that's, Eccleston's home from home, or the 9th Doctor's home from home, rather. And so far with Pioneers and Travel and Hope, we've been going into history and out into the stars, but not to present day Earth yet. Which, I feel like I'm longing for a story like that again. A story like Girl Deconstructed. Do you think 9 should go against the Daleks again?
No.
I'd say no for that.
That's one thing they should avoid.
And hopefully Chris is on our side for that as well.
Yeah. I don't care if you want to do classic Daleks. No.
Yeah, that would step on the arc they've got going a bit. Okay, sorry. Whovian with a small collections theory was, okay, so in Father's Day, he says, I've picked up another stupid ape. So my theory is, and it's probably going to be really dumb, I think 9 is going to travel with Susie Costello before Torchwood. And this will lead to her getting recruited by Torchwood as Jack recruits her first off-screen. So we never get much reason why he trusts her so much. It's an interesting theory there.
It feels very Big Finishy, so I'll give you that.
I mean, I think the stupid ape line is maybe more in line with the fact of everything that's just happened with Adam. I think is probably what that's mainly in reference to. But I feel like India Varma and Christopher Eccleston, though, that would be a combo. And especially having a companion like that who is more selfish, similar to Adam again, how his selfishness got him kicked out of the TARDIS. That would be interesting to have a temporary companion like that. But I'd say, just in terms of Torchwood continuity, I'm not so sure there. Especially with how it works out with Jack. I mean, especially if he's recruiting her and trusts her, surely he wouldn't trust someone who the Doctor didn't trust.
Yeah.
It depends how bad terms they would leave on. Yeah. And of course, I think Susie is going to mess up and 9 going to abandon her for breaking his trust. And yeah, that would be interesting to see the Doctor open up to someone and then have that trust be betrayed. I mean, you sort of get that with the 6th Doctor in the current Purity saga, which is an interesting little exploration of that idea.
Okay. I'll get around to it eventually. I'll get around to it before the tier list.
I mean, you've heard that bit.
Oh, yeah, true.
That's in Purity, the first Purity one. Unleashed. Undreamed.
Undreamed, yeah. That feels like a lifetime ago, that box set. But it's only 13 months.
Yeah.
Wild.
What about 9 versus Insane Dalek Khan, lol? Probably not. Sorry, Snowflake.
Yeah. Stay clear.
I mean, if Big Finish do come out with a Dalek story and we end up loving it, then you'll have the last laugh.
Yeah.
Get Ben to listen to Purity and Tortured Among Us.
I mean, I'm more likely to listen to Purity than I am Tortured Among Us.
I mean, you've already bought it, so...
Yeah, so there's no obligation to buy it.
Yeah. I think you're happy with what you brought this year, aren't you? So,
yeah, I'm
however good Tortured Among Us is.
Yeah, I've just
And
got
it is.
one thing to get. You know, if Paternoster's good, still not getting it.
No.
I've decided. Because it'll be on sale and it'll be fine.
You're gonna wait a while for a decent sale.
Well, I've only listened to Paternoster 4 and I wasn't that enamored with it.
Did you listen to Full Set or just the Jago one?
Just for Jago one.
Yeah.
Because I haven't listened to any of the Heritage stuff, and I was like, I don't really want to.
I mean, I feel like it's a fresh start with Trespassers. Like Heritage pretty much wrapped everything up, so I think Trespassers is going to be its own thing.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Who knows? Maybe you'll love them in Once and Future, Martian Invasion of Earth, and you'll be all over them after that. You'll be like, no, I need more. Give me more Paternoster.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay. Not that it happened for Lady Christina, but
no, Lady Christina. Yeah, not happened late. Even though we enjoyed Two's company.
Dr. 909, thank you for joining us. Asks
Hello.
Slightly random tangent, but what do you guys hope to hear with the 7th Doctor Last Days sets?
We're full of tangents here, so it's fine.
I mean, we've finished with our main topic now. We've wiped our hands clean of the 9th Doctor at this point. We've got it all clear listed, so we're happy to have a few tangents before we wrap up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for 1 hour stories. I mean, after we've just gone on about how we'd stick them with 9th Doctor, I would prefer that format. I think it would give it more of an epic feel for the end of the 7th Doctor's life.
I'm
not sure.
I would like one big last Elder God battle. Like one last chess player, 7th Doctor type story, I would say. But I don't think we'll get it.
I hope it doesn't interfere with the TV movie. Like, I hope it doesn't retroactively somehow say, oh, the 7th Doctor was planning this death all along. You know, he deliberately walked out into that gunfire. Like, I think it's more poetic in a way to have that be, you know, the Doctor who's manipulating, controlling everything just ends up in a situation where he isn't in control. You know? And it's not even the gunfire that gets him, it's Grace in the theatre, isn't it? Medical theatre. When she doesn't believe that he's alien and ends up killing him by mistake. So, yeah, I think it's nice to have this Doctor who is always in control die in a situation where he has no control over what's going on. He can't manipulate the people around him. So, yeah, I prefer it to just be one last battle ending with the Doctor picking up the Master's remains and heading to Gallifrey. I mean, maybe an explanation for that as well. Yeah. Why the Daleks give the Master's remains over to the Doctor, why they're exterminating the Master, because that's certainly a bit funny. I think it has been explained in other expanded media as well.
Probably a book.
But Big Finish have done their own take on series 6B, so they could do their own take on this as well. Yeah. I mean, is that us done for tonight?
I think so. I think we've done all the 9th Doctor. We've hung out for a little bit. It's all been good. Good.
We've had a good little run of it, I'd say.
Yeah, and we'll be back.
Doctor.
We'll be back next Sunday to do the same thing, but with River Song.
Yeah, talk all things River. As we've now finished her series with the Orphan Quartet, which neither of us have yet listened to, but we will have by this time next week. So hope everyone's looking forward to that. Hope you've all enjoyed tonight.
It's been fun. It's been good.
And hopefully, if you haven't picked up any 9th Doctor, this has maybe helped you to decide which box set to go for. There. Until next time, take care and goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, because we appreciate it. Lurkers, everyone in the chat, we love you all. And like we say,
you're all wonderful.
You're all wonderful. No, you're all fantastic. You know what?
Absolutely.
So are we. And on that note, good night. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.